Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. I have been sitting down today doing my December budget, so getting it prepped and everything. And I was thinking about the fact that I was like, I need to film something today. I'm not sure what. So why not just go ahead and get our December budget out there? I feel a little cliche saying this, but I truly cannot believe that December is here already. This year has flown by completely. I cannot believe just how much we have paid off in debt this year, how many improvements we've made. And I don't know, I just feel like we're closing out on a really good high here. Like my husband and I feel really great closing out the year here, going into the beginning of the next year. I have so many fun things planned for 2026 and just like new goals and all of that. So I will tell you guys about my goals in another video, but for now, let's talk about what we're spending, saving, and investing in the month of December. My husband and I have also paid off $30,000 of debt in the year of 2025 alone. So if you're new, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. If you do subscribe, thank you so much. And let's go ahead and get into the numbers. I am so excited to show you guys my new budget tracker that I have been working on. So this is what I will use going forward in 2026. And it is at a good state. I feel like I've got good graphs and everything in here. So far, I've got my income over here, and then it tracks income, actual, and budgeted. So once my actual comes in, another bar will come up here to show me how on track I am with income, expenses, savings, debt payoff, and investments. I've also got a graph for all of my expenses, as well as a graph for my savings. And we will talk about savings here in a second, but I will be starting sinking funds for 2026. Up first though, let's get into our income for December. So for my husband's income, we are expecting about $5,500. For my full-time job income, I'm expecting $3,564. And then for my part-time job, I am expecting about $1,000. It might be a little more than this, but I just wanted to err on the side of caution with it. So I just put 1,000, and then my goal will be to make more than 1,000. For my son, the check that we get from my husband's parents for my son's school, just because my son's schooling is so expensive, they give us $200 a month, and we are incredibly grateful and so lucky to have them. So we have $200 for him. I am not having anything for transfers, and this is actually really interesting because I am not transferring anything over, but I planned to transfer money over for Christmas, but we actually don't even need to transfer the money out of our savings because we have it from our income for the month. So I was going to transfer over $600 for Christmas fund, and I don't have to do that. So I thought that was really cool. Shout out to my part-time job for covering our Christmas fund. And then I have $100 for rollover because we have been doing so good in the month of November. Knock on wood that we do good at this like last week here, but we still have $600 left in our account for an entire week. So we're sitting really good for November right now, but I do expect that we might have a couple expenses pop up here and there. So I'm just saying $100 for rollover, but I would love if the rollover was even more. And then I have $8,000 here for other, and that is because I have some money that is pooling together to go towards my student loans. So I signed up for childcare credit through my work because it was offered to me, and the amount that you could put towards your childcare credit in 2025 was $5,000. So I have put the $5,000 towards my childcare credit. And then I will also be getting some money from my parents for Christmas. And then we just have like some extra money that I'm putting towards it because of my part-time job. So I've got, I think like $600 scheduled for it from my part-time job. So that is all that money will get pooled together, and then I will make a big debt payment towards my student loans. So I'm really excited about that because that doesn't even count the amount that I am already going to put towards it from our income for December. So we are going to make a pretty hefty payment towards the student loans in December, and I'm really excited because that will get us under $20,000. I might cry. I honestly might cry when it goes under 20,000. No, I probably won't cry. I'll probably cry when I pay it off though, but for our total income then, that brings us to $18,364. I've got here our budgeted checked, and so it is right now showing how much of our income has been used from our expenses. If I uncheck this and check here, then this would calculate based off of our actual. So right now I'm just going off of budgeted because we are just planning out the month. For our expenses, I've got $1,003 set aside for our mortgage. I have $1,150.31 for my car payment. For daycare, we already got our bill for December, and that bill total is $1,831.49. Power and gas is $179. Water is $65. Internet is $95. Sewer and trash we don't have to pay because it is only every 3 months. Insurance is $110. We are putting aside $750 for groceries, $150 for our household fund. I'm getting near the end of a lot of things, so I just put $150 just in case. For my son, we have $20 for him. This $20 is just for us to take out and put in his little piggy bank here at home and go towards his savings, because with it being December, he is going to get a ton of toys and stuff from Santa, from us, from my parents, from family members, all of that. So we don't need to get him anything. And I've got lots of ideas and little like crafts and stuff to do here at home for us for the whole month of December, like little Christmas crafts and stuff. So we are not going to spend any money going out or anything. We are just simply going to do things for fun here at home, as well as like when it snows, we'll go sledding and all of that. So we'll keep him busy with low cost things or free things. And we'll put $20 into his piggy bank. I have $50 set aside for gas. I might actually use more than $50. So in the winter months, because my car is a plug-in hybrid, I don't get as much battery charge in the colder months just because the battery doesn't hold charge for very long, or as long as it does like when it's warm outside. So I go through gas faster, but I also have noticed that I'm obviously going through gas faster by going and working for my husband's business each day, Monday through Friday. So we might need to increase our gas for the winter. I don't know, we'll see. But for right now, I'm just putting 50 there. We'll see about having our fuel saver from Hy-Vee and that. So hopefully we won't spend more, but it's not the end of the world if we do, and I'll just deal with it at that time. I have $50 for family fun. So we usually have like Christmas markets or stuff like that come around our area. So we might go to one of those. I think there's like a Christmas train that comes through and stuff. So I don't know how much all of that costs, but I'll put $50 aside for family fun. I've got $75 for our dog. She is going to need food, and we haven't really been having many Menards rebates, so I just increased it to $75 just to make sure that we have enough money for her food for the month. Subscriptions is at $85. My husband's gas station runs is at $50. He's working in the shop a lot more instead of being out on the road, so gas stations has definitely decreased for him. And then for his lunches, he has $150. In reality, he probably won't even go to many gas stations at all, and all of that money will just get put in with his lunches, but I just split them up just in case. And then for eating out, with it being the holidays, I have $250. That is because I get real tired of eating at home around the holidays, and so we're just going to be realistic and put $250 for eating out in December. My son also has 2 weeks off of school. So his school closes for 2 weeks at Christmas time. And so I'm sure we are going to be home with him a lot more. So I'm sure we'll have like go out for lunch or whatever while he's off on those 2 weeks, because my husband will have a couple days with him and then I will have a couple days with him at home. We're like splitting up on teamwork here on who's watching the kid each day. So I'm sure we'll go out to lunch or out to dinner or whatever. Then I have my standard $50 for unexpected and $50 for miscellaneous. And then for Christmas, I have $700 set aside for that. We are doing $300 for our son. And I know that is a lot, but we do get him like one big gift. And then I get him stocking stuffers, a couple other just small things that he can unwrap. And then what I do is I'm doing a little like 12 days of Christmas thing. So he gets to open up like a Christmas craft, or we have like Don't Break the Ice game, or I got him Candyland. So he will get to open one present each day of something fun for us to do together. One night I have like popcorn and hot cocoa. I have one night is an ornament so we can decorate the tree, and he'll get that ornament to put on the tree. So just little things, one little thing each day, a couple books and stuff. So one little thing each day for 12 days of Christmas that we can kind of do together as a family, make crafts, do all that fun stuff, and then his Christmas gifts, and then one big gift that we will put together the night before. And I got a real fun one this year. So he is going to have a lot of fun with this Christmas. We're going to keep it magical. And I am so happy that we have been budgeting and stayed on track all year. And we have just figured out other ways of income and made this absolutely possible to be able to give our son a magical and wonderful Christmas. Obviously, it is magical no matter how much you spend. Just make it fun. And we are just so grateful. And I'm just so happy that we're able to do this and not stress about it. Moving on to our savings category here. So I'm going to make a whole video about sinking funds, how we are creating them basically, and what we're doing. So we already had just like general savings. So I already like kind of broke it out here. You can see I've got some things saved and broken out into our total $2,550 in that like savings that is just available to us to spend if we need it. That is not our emergency fund. We do have a 3-month emergency fund in a separate account that we do not touch. So this is just our money that we can touch and mess with. And then I've budgeted out $50 to add into our pet fund. So that will make it $850. She has a vet visit in April each year, and I swear it gets more and more expensive every year. I actually think we might even, I don't know, we might actually test out another vet. So she has gone to this vet for a very long time, but it is consistently like $800 to $1,000 every time we go for her yearly visit. And we tell other people about it, and they're like, well, you're paying way too much. Like, go to so-and-so or go to so-and-so. We pay like $400. So my husband and I have talked about potentially transferring her records to another vet, but we just kind of need to figure out who the best one is to go to and see about getting her in for that. So we actually might do that this year just to try to save some money. But we do have it saved, obviously, if we do want to take her to her regular vet, if that makes sense. So that is the deal with why we have so much in there for pet. And then for general savings, I'm going to add $50. So we will bump up to $1,050. This is like, sinking funds are weird because I'm just so used to just having a general savings account and I can just pull from it as needed. But I definitely have seen our savings kind of deplete a little bit here, taking a vacation, getting tires, like car service and all of that. So I'm like, it would be kind of nice to have different categories to where you can see how much you're spending in those categories instead of just watching your larger number just decrease and you don't really have a hold on like where it's going or why it's going to places. So I am going to do sinking funds, and so that's why I'm just starting this. We do need to start beefing up our sinking funds though, because we will have nothing in holiday. We have nothing for travel because we just traveled. I don't have anything in home improvement, but we do need to add to that because we need a new driveway. So we need to get a new concrete poured driveway this summer. So we need to save for that. we need to save for, we'll start saving for Christmas next year. And then I have new home down payment in there because we are actually going to start saving for a new home starting this year, but I will explain that in a different video for you guys. So that is just a quick view of it, and I will do an entire video on seeking funds. For student loans here, we have $11,400 set aside to go towards student loans. So at this current point, I am at $27,000 in student loans. So that will bring us under $20,000, closer to $15,000. We'll be right about 16. So I'm really excited to do that payment, and I'm looking forward to showing you guys when that is done. I think it should all have posted by the end of December. So in my December budget closeout, you guys will see that new lower amount on our student loans. And then the next one is investments, and we have a little bit of a change happening here. So we have been investing $5,000 every single month since we sold our other home, and we are continuing to invest $5,000 as we see fit. So this month, for the month of December, we are actually pausing on investing. I think it just kind of depends on your own risk and your own threshold and everything. So certainly do not take this as advice or anything like that. You do what is most comfortable for you and your family. But my husband and I have just kind of been watching what's happening with the market right now, the talk of the AI bubble and everything like that. And we are just choosing to pause for December. We're just going to see how December goes, and then we will move forward with investing next year. I will invest the $7,000 for our Roth IRA right away in January. So for 2026, I will just max it out in January. So I am still going to invest. I am not trying to time the market or wait for the market or anything like that. I guess we're kind of waiting, but there's just a lot of talk and chatter and everything that's happening. And so we are just going to focus on the holidays. We're just going to get through the holidays, and then we're happy to continue investing starting in 2026. So right now, all of our funds are sitting in our main brokerage account in Fidelity, and it actually is like a 4% interest rate. It acts almost like a high yield savings account. So we're still making money on the money that's sitting there. We just aren't going to invest it. So we're okay with it sitting there for a month. It just makes a little bit more of interest, so then we can invest that money later on. So that's just what we're doing. It's just a personal choice of ours from personal conversations my husband and I have had together, and we're just gonna take a beat, and then we'll get back to it in 2026. And then down here is just my expense tracker. So I will do all my expenses and put them in each category and say whether it's wants, needs, or savings, investments, and debt, and which account it is coming from. I do keep, it'll calculate here too. So I do keep, I keep my bank credit card. It was the very first credit card that I got, and I'm not tied to it or anything, but it has no points to it. It's just a regular old credit card that gets, I think it's 9% interest rate. And so it has a really good interest rate on it. I obviously don't hold a balance though, but if you're going to have a credit card, it's nice to have a 9% interest rate one and not a 22% interest rate one. So that's why I've always just kept it. And I barely put anything on it, but if I do put something on it, I will calculate it here. We do have an Amazon card that we get some cash back from, and we pay that off every month. And then we have a checking account, and that is our main, what all of our spending is out of. So those are my 3 accounts that I usually spend money from, and that is where we are at. So that is everything that we have slated to spend, save, invest, well, not invest, and debt payoff for the month of December. And I'm really excited to get into this month. I'm really excited to, I love the fact that we are able to fund Christmas from the money that we are getting and not having to fund Christmas from our actual savings. So that's pretty cool. But other than that, I am looking forward to using this budget tracker in 2026. I think this budget tracker is really nice. I'm happy with the way that it has turned out and with kind of the tweaks and stuff that I've made to it. So hopefully you guys think it's cool too, and I will kind of let you guys know how it's going and how I'm using it. Other than that, that is everything that I have for you today. I will see you guys in my next video. I will post a chatty video on Thursday. We won't do a what I spend in a week, but I will do a chatty video talking about upcoming for 2026. We have a couple changes that we're making financially for 2026. So I will tell you guys all about that in my video coming up on Thursday. And then my following week, next Sunday, will probably be my November closeout. So make sure that you are subscribed so that you don't miss out on those videos, and I will see you all in my next one.